G'day everyone, Surprise Live. I'm going to demonstrate for you the tool for the envelope pockets. So I thought I would just do a quick demonstration, and this will be uploaded onto YouTube also, but this will be live for today. Let me get my computer running. And I hope that this will help. Okay, g'day Liz. Okay, so I'm just keeping an eye on the camera just so I know that you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so first things first, pretend that this is the front of my bag. Okay, it's only a small piece, it's a bit of faux leather, and that's going to be the front of my bag. This is my inside pocket. I have measured 1.5 inches down from the top, and I have found my center point. The other thing I did with this, and I'm hoping you can see this, it's a little bit of a delay on my computer. I've marked halfway marks along this. This is 7-inch, 8-inch and 9-inch piece envelope zippers, and I've marked the halfway point. The reason being is because once I've marked that 1 inch down, I'm then going to line up the top edge with that line, that 1.5 inch line, like that, and I'm going to find my halfway point, and I'm lining it up with my halfway point, and then I literally draw around there. I get that little insert, pop that in, and draw the center, and then I get the little arrows and I draw them, one on either end, line it up with that center line and the end of my square or rectangle, and I have that. Okay, and that's what I have. Then what I'm going to do is turn to the back of my bag. That was a bug. And I'm going to stitch. I'll actually go that way. Give me a bit more room. I'm going to stitch along that edge. I'm lining this up with the top of the bag or the pocket area, whatever it be, and I'm going to stitch on that line there. You would clip that down, or you can just leave it the way it is. So let me bring the machine across. So I'm not moving camera, and just got my zipper foot on, see if that works, and I'm just going to stitch that line. I'm using a white thread so you can actually see what I'm doing. Well, it's a light grey. And you get to that end, go down, then go across all the way to the other end. All the way across. Then lift it up. And just going to reverse stitch a couple. Cut off. Now that'll give me a little fluffy bit there. You would get your scissors and you would trim that off properly. Okay, don't do as I say, not as I do. All right. Then you've got this little box here that you've actually, you know, sewn around the edge of. Okay. Now what we do here is basically, I should have sewed that onto the front. That was silly of me. Let me undo that. Don't sew it onto the back. Take two. Do it again, but onto the front. Lucky I didn't do back stitching all the way. idiot. There's never a live or a demonstration without me making a boo-boo. Sew it to the front. Right, turn around. We're going to do that again to the front. Bear with me. Too much on my mind, you're not wrong. Okay, so go like that. Once you've got it on, okay, then just fold it in half and snip that best you can. Cut all the way down here through all layers and on those little triangle bits. Don't snip your thread. That triangle bit right up to the corner, right up to the corner, and then all you do is shove that inside to the back. So you literally shove it through. That's the dogs, FYI. Hello. Hi, Jeanette. All right. Fabric on fabric, it's a bit easier because this faux leather is going to give me a hard time. And that's where my previous stitch was. I'm not worrying about that too much at the moment. Then I'm going to fold back. Oi. Candy. Sorry, just let me stop the dog from doing what she's doing. That's what she's chewing. Gross. Right. Okay. Let me get some kit clips. Okay. I might have done that seam a bit too tight. With the faux leather, I've done it at like a 2 and I tore out those stitches. You would never do that on a faux leather because that has basically hurt the leather, but this is just a quick demo. So just clip that like that. And your little corners. Mine's hairy because I've got to left that thread in. I'll trim that out in a minute. Push it all back. You using a normal fabric, you can press it. With the faux leather, you can't press it with an iron. It's just not possible. You just got to fold it. You can use your fingies. Get to those corners. Don't worry about this sort of little creasing bit. That doesn't matter. The idea is to get that fold down flat, and you would press it, right? So say we've pressed that, we've got that out. That's all good now. And you would have it pressed down nice like that. You get your zipper. You love your ducky scissors. They're bleeding handy, they are. You get your zipper. Let's see if I've got something in my pocket. I do. one that works would be great. There we go. Burn off the little bits. Open up your zipper. Pop your zipper head on. Oops, it is. That was a bit wonky, but you get the gist. And you want it to be, I might straighten that up because it's a bit wonky at the other end. You want it to be just a little bit longer than the actual pocket hole. You can measure that, like you're doing a 7-inch, so if you did a 7.5-inch zipper, you're going to have just that little half, a 1/4 inch on either side. That's a bit better. If I had my zipper jig here, I'd be able to put it on straight away. There we go. Got it. Nice and straight too. All right. So I would just go, all right, well, I need it to be around about there, just past the point. I know I buried them. There they are. So I'm just going to do that. Run your zipper all the way through, struggle with it again, and get the head on. Again, use your zipper jig if you got it. If you don't have a zipper jig, they're like $12. Best thing since sliced bread. I make this look hard. There we go. All right. So then you basically place this up under here, like that, underneath, just like that. And you would use your zipper tape and position it in, and I will put zipper tape on this because it's hella easy with the zipper tape. And then we sew the top part, which is awesome. So let me get my zipper tape. Like I say, I might clip that down there. That might help hold that up a bit. There we go. That'd be better. Play nice with mummy. And that one, we're just going to have to deal with it. All right, zipper tape. Okay. I like how she says, pop your zipper. It doesn't take me mortals good. That's hello. Sometimes it could take me a few minutes, but yeah, most people come running to me at a retreat saying, can you put the zipper head on, please? I've done it that many times now. So this is a 1/8 inch tape. It's 10 meters, so it's going to last a fair while. And all I do is place the sticky side down along here. I don't want it visible. And I don't really want it in my seam. So it'll go behind the stitch. And then on this side, stuck to my finger. Down there. Down there. And there. Up it goes. Up you come. Like that. Love the fact that you can just tear this stuff. It doesn't have to be cut. You know, when you've got, 10 fingers and 10 toes and there's still not enough to hold down a zipper when you try to do something. Then get your zipper, face it the right side down and place it over the top. And just give it a good press if you can. If you can't, you might have to turn it over. You might get one side and then have to flip her like I'm about to do because it might be too high, which it is. So I'm just going to reposition where I want it to be, making sure that my lining is not showing and my zipper is nice and straight. Okay, and that tape will help hold that in place for me, like so. Nothing worse doing this and then your zipper is crooked as a dog's hind leg. That's really frustrating. So once that's there, the tape should just about hold it long enough for you to actually be able to get it under the sewing machine. Make sure that you've got your zipper foot on. And let's just, stitch needs to be up. It's a top stitch and it is a faux leather, so I am doing a 4.5. So fingers crossed she doesn't mind the foot. It's not really happy with the foot, but anyway, it'll work. If you can't use your normal foot, you can always use a Teflon foot. That will work absolutely perfectly. Yeah, Teflon foot, absolutely. There we go. Got over the hump, down this side. And then down this side. Yeah, it's getting stuck on it because it's faux leather. It's not happy, Jan. You get the gist of what I'm talking about. And up here. If I was trying and put that into a bag with the stitches like they are, yeah, no one would want it. All right, so you've got that off. And then, so your zipper's in, all right? You've sewn your zipper in. Mine's a bit of a ballsy thing, so anyway, but that's in. That's that. Then you turn it over and you pick up your pocket, depending on how long you have it. And you pick up your pocket and you get it to the top. Now, you can make it a little bit like less than 1.5 inches. You can make it an inch down from the top of your bag or whatever. All I'm doing now is just clipping along the sides. So I've got right sides together. Just there. And all I'm going to do is sew down, oh, that's not going to even meet, down this whole area here. So I'm going to sew here, across here, and down here. It's a very tiny pocket, mind you, but you get the gist, and I'm just going to go with it. So start from this bottom bit, keep your main bag part away from it. Here you can put the stitching back to normal. And it only needs to be far enough away from this part here. This part here. Doesn't have to be all the way up here. We can cut that off. And stitch in your pocket. And that's an envelope or, you know, invisible pocket or whatever you want to call it. Some people call it other things. I call it an envelope one because it looks sort of like it's inside something, like an envelope. Enveloped. And that one down there. All right. Flip that up. Turn it over. Listen to the dog snoring now. She's forgotten all about that bone. Disgusting thing. Trim away your excess pocket. Don't cut your front fabric. You'll be very sorry. Because eventually those sides will go into a seam. They're just going to get in your way. So you just want to trim it off. Just give it a, it's going to be disappeared. It's going to be disappeared. But that is a tiny little pocket. See? Yeah, that's how it works. So yours will be much nicer than mine. 7, 8, and 9. That one there. Mark your halfway marks. So the 7 one is here. There's my halfway mark. It doesn't have halfway marks on them when you get them, and I've got them marked, all right? So it's very important to have your halfway mark so you can center your zipper pocket on your actual piece, okay? But that's how she works. Isn't that cool? So you will now be able to go out there and do your own, envelope zippers. Yeah. What do you think? Looks all right, doesn't it? Thank you very much for joining me. And if you got any questions or anything, just let me know. And I am more than happy to help you out and see how we go from there. So thanks again for joining me. And I have another demo coming up soon. So stay tuned. See you soon.